play half-court basketball for 48 minutes. That's definitely to their advantage. The other thing that jumps out to me is how well they're shooting the ball, from the field, from three. Obviously, Duncan Robinson, the guy never stops moving, great shooter. Jovic, his continued development, the way he's shooting the basketball. And then last, probably keeping Jimmy off the foul line. He's the last 5 games, he's getting there over 10 times per game, and on the season he averages 8. So being really disciplined with staying down of all of his shot fakes and up and unders and showing your hands.
What has Jaime Jaquez added for them?
Good player. Obviously they lost Max Strus, they lost Gabe Vincent. Recently they lost Kyle Lowry. So yeah, Jaime is a really skilled player, high IQ. Shot it really well to start the year, hasn't shot it from 3 nearly as well as of late. But you look at that Sacramento game, and he had some big baskets down the stretch of a close game on the road. He's just really crafty. Really, for a rookie, I think he's very mature.
You mentioned last night you were going to check on Julian. He didn't pop up on the injury report at all today, so I assume there's no concern. But what were you looking at? What were you checking in on?
Just to see if he had a concussion.
Okay.
He hit his head very hard, but no, he met with the doctors last night, worked out today. He's fine. He's good to go. Thank goodness.
Hey, Coach. First of all, congratulations again. It's incredible. It's been almost 8 months since the Heat was last year. What has been your challenge? You're trying to repeat, and your records are pretty much the same or better than last year this time. So what's been your biggest challenge? You guys got your a big blank on the back.
Well, isn't it great that the first matchup of the 2 teams that were in the NBA Finals is on the second night of back-to-back? Like, this should be a premier game. You have 2 teams that were in the finals last year, and obviously we have a ton of respect for the Miami Heat across the board. Our greatest challenge, I think, is 2 things that jump to mind for me. One, reminding our guys throughout the course of the season that we have a bullseye on our back. And that's what happens when you're the reigning world champions. You're going to get everybody's best. You're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. And that was a part of our ascension. But once you win that, that all changes. And there have been a few periods where I had to remind our guys that we have to be a lot better in terms of our urgency to start games. And then number 2 for us, and this is probably unique. I can't recall many teams that have won a championship trying to also play as many young players as we're playing off the bench. You look around the NBA landscape, not many teams in the top 6 in each conference are playing many young guys. And we're playing Christian, we're playing Peyton, we're playing Zeke. For a lot of the year, we were playing Julian. And obviously, you look at the continued development of those players, it's only going to bode well for us in the future. But for us to be where we are right now speaks to the starting 5-man unit and their effectiveness, but also the continued growth and maturation and development of all the players that I just mentioned. And it's really hard for a lot of teams, it's been proven, to win at a high level and develop young players at the same time. But our guys have done a really nice job of figuring that out to this point.
Thomas Bryant is back in the building tonight, was part of your team last night, last year. Will it be nice to see him get that moment tonight? Well,
I'm just glad that the NBA is letting him get the moment. Obviously they had the situation against New Orleans with suspensions, but that's where I think smarter heads prevailed in allowing Thomas to get the attention, recognition, and the ring in front of a crowd that will definitely give him the ovation that he deserves. So it'd be great to see Thomas. Haven't seen him obviously since we won it all last June, and whether it was Ish, Bruce, Jeff, and now Thomas. It's just a way of thanking him for all of his contributions.
I know you don't want to keep falling behind 15 or 16 points in games, but do you see it as sort of a championship quality that your team is able to, that had a handful of instances where seemingly playing poorly and able to sort of flip the switch and turn a big deficit not into just a win but kind of a blowout this season?
Well, it's a really scary situation. You don't want to get into that habit. The Golden State game, we got off to a good start, and then Klay Thompson came in the game and changed that game quickly. But then how we closed that second quarter was very, very important and allowed us to kind of run away in that second half. The Sacramento game, same thing. You're down by 15 points, second quarter, and then all of a sudden we get back to playing our brand of basketball, how we need to play. that always will start with our defense and our rebounding and then getting out and running. But it's, if you think against Miami tonight, hey, we can just build, the way they play, possessions are so important. We can't afford to spot them a 15-point lead, especially on the second night of a back-to-back, and expect, just to be able to flip that switch, because I don't believe in that switch. We got to be a lot more consistent.
Is there any part of you that kind of appreciates having this matchup now then, given that you guys really seem to be sharpening up, rounding into form, and now it's a team that doesn't let you off the hook?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, we're healthy, and obviously they're not, no Kevin Love for them, no Tyler Hero for them. So I give Spo credit. I think they've had 31 different starting lineups this year. That's crazy. And they've had guys in and out of lineup. So, you give Spo, he deserves every dollar they just gave him, and then some. But yeah, I mean, like, when you play against the best teams who you have a tremendous amount of respect for, it allows you to kind of take a snapshot of who you are, and maybe some of your blind spots that you need to address in a hurry. And so tonight will be an opportunity for us to do that.
One more question. As you're preparing for this game, did it bring you back to?
We had a lot of time to prepare.
Well, yeah. Just looking over stuff, did it bring you back to like preparing for the finals last year? Any part of that?
I told our coaches, it was really weird. You know how long ago the finals feels for me? It doesn't feel like it was. It feels like a long time ago, and I'm not sure why that is, but it was such a quick turnaround for us that a little bit to your point, and you talk about some of the things that we may have done to guard Jimmy Butler last year, to guard Duncan Robinson, to guard Bam Adebayo. How are we going to attack their zone defense, which we know we're going to see for extended periods of time. But they're different, we're different, and this is just an opportunity to go against a really well-coached team that is playing at a high level. I think they won 5 in a row. I think they're 9-2 in their last 11. So we're playing well, they're playing well, and it's just an opportunity for two really good teams to go out there and battle and compete against each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.